Hello, YouTube. It's Lion here with Hobbies of a Man once again, and today we're doing another What Talk episode. Today we're going to be looking at episode 5, Blood Calls Blood. So it starts at this funeral rite thing. Alana seems to be singing this mourning song as this progression, kind of goes from the camp to this circle that has been cleared in the snow that happens to have all of these dead bodies wrapped in white cloth. So they're doing this, and then, Stepan puts Karini in the ground, and now they move on to something else. A 1 month time skip has occurred, and the Aes Sedai on the road, and they're close to the White Tower. They're kind of finally getting to the White Tower, and the boys are also on the road. Matt is kind of going crazy. Rand sees Dragon Mount, and he recognizes it. He feels that he's seen it before, which is some pretty interesting foreshadowing. I kind of like that. I thought it was really cool. And then Tar Valon in the distance. And the shot of Tar Valon is pretty cool. Tar Valon from afar reminds me a lot of Naboo from Star Wars, more than it does like a city in Game of Thrones, which I think is pretty cool. Tar Valon is actually functioning as Camelin in this adaptation, which is kind of interesting, kind of not horrible. Like, I think it makes sense. Why would you get a Camelin when you can just go straight to Tar Valon? There's no point in having this middle section where nothing really happens, because Camelin in the books is a stopping point. It's where everyone kind of reconnects before they continue on their journey, right? Egwene and Perrin are still kind of somewhere else, I think. No. Everyone meets at Camelin, right? And at Camelin, Rand meets Elaine, and he sees Logain. So we get all of those scenes still, except for Elaine. Elaine has been moved to season 2, and so it makes sense that they would just go straight to Tar Valon, simplify the story, reduce the amount of budgeting that they have to do for this magical city that doesn't necessarily have any major implications to the story. However, they could have still gone to Camelin, because a lot of this episode focuses on the warder Stepan and his relationship with Karini, and I don't necessarily think that that's important to the story. Like, it feels like they deviated to kind of, the warder and the Aes Sedai are very powerful together, and they have a lot of emotions, but they already spent an episode telling us this. They don't have to spend an episode also showing us this, and so I feel like they could have easily gone to Camelin and then done another time skip and then gone to Tar Valon, and it would have been fine, right? But that's not the route that they decided to go, so whatever. Rand and Matt take a pit stop at an inn in order to shower and get some rest, and then they were going to go to the White Tower. However, they don't get around to doing that. So, yeah. Moraine, Nynaeve, and Lan are talking once they're at the White Tower. They're kind of hiding Nynaeve in a room, and Moraine talks about White Tower politics, which are actually pretty interesting, but it is mostly a rehash of Aes Sedai politics in general. Basically, Nynaeve, you're powerful. No one should know about your secret just yet, except the people that already know, and even those people are dangerous. And you're going to get eaten alive by all of these women that are significantly older than you, and maybe not as powerful, but definitely more skilled. Please try to keep your mouth shut and not do anything. And Nynaeve, of course, is like, you know what, if I'm so powerful, maybe you're the ones that should be careful about me. Because Nynaeve is like that. And that's okay. Nothing bad here. But, it's kind of annoying that they rehash these politics over and over and over again. So, yeah. Also, Moraine has this kind of heart-to-heart with Nynaeve about the fact that, hey, the One Power makes you significantly more powerful than everyone in your life. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have these issues dealing with that. And it's okay to have them, because all of us have had them. Nynaeve, of course, doesn't really take this that well, because Moraine is telling her this, and so Moraine telling her this makes it less meaningful, even if Nynaeve understands that, hey, this is kind of true, right? So, yeah. Then we also get to see that the Tinkers are also almost at Tar Valon, and they get stopped by the White Cloaks. I hate them so much. Valda attacks them because he sees Perrin and Egwene, and we get to see that, hey, all of this Wave the Leaf stuff, fucking bullshit. It doesn't work because the Children of the Light just beat the shit out of them, and it doesn't really mean anything, right? They have this little moment of solidarity and powerful, like, hey, we're free and peaceful. You're not gonna do anything to us, and if you do, we're just gonna take it. And then Valdo's like, okay, bet, and he beats the shit out of all of the Tinkers, and it's kind of like sad because it's like, yeah, man, your ideological needs are met, but your physical needs are being shunted to the side because of this, and you're just getting beat to shit for no reason. So I don't know. The Way of the Leaf is definitely a very interesting concept, and I'm not too sure how I feel about it. But I like that they showed, hey, the Way of the Leaf is probably not the best way to deal with things. And then we get to see Rand looking at the Carithian cycle, which is a book. We get to see the little dragon drawing, and then we see Loyal, the Ogier, show up, and I love it. I think originally I didn't like his design all that much because he doesn't really look like a monster. Like he looks like a person, but like big, right? And I didn't love that originally, but it actually kind of makes sense. If you're gonna have this character be so integral to the story and be around all the time, it's better to not make him a costume, right? Because it's not the same to have like Chewbacca in a few movies as it is to have like Chewbacca in a whole series, right? It would like be pretty harsh on the actor. So I think that they made the right choice. However, the personality of Loyal is actually pretty good and pretty accurate to the books, because he does come off as this wise, basically old person originally, and we get to see that he's basically a teenager later on in the books, right? So I like that. I think it's pretty fun. I love that Loyal's like, oh, you guys are so fast and so abrupt, and you guys like require a lot of attention, and it's funny and it's interesting, and he talks about Rand being an Aielman, and that Rand doesn't want to agree with this, and Loyal's like, oh, very interesting, an Aielman from the Two Rivers that says he's not an Aielman. That's so odd, and I love that. I think he's a very fun character. I really enjoy it. And then the Loghain procession happens. Rand meets Matt there, and then they have this whole kind of thing where they're like, hey man, if I channel, please kill me. And Rand's like, sure, will you do the same for me? And Matt's like, yeah, sure. And I thought that was pretty fun, but it's not gonna work. So I don't know. Then we get to see Stepan preparing for his the funeral of Karine, and he does this thing where he leaves her ring in this molten fountain of gold, which I think was pretty cool. And then we get to see a bit of the Warders' backstories. We get to see that Maxim and Ivan, I think is his name, are together as in a relationship also with, what's her name? Alana. And we get to see that Maxim's father wanted to kill him when he was 12. And we get to see that Stepan had a shitty childhood as well. And that Lan also had one, but we already knew that from the books. And that the Warders are basically all brothers, and pretty interesting. So I like that. However, this leads to a lot of like stuff that happens in this episode that I don't think was necessary. So we'll see. But yeah, Moraine and Lan have this kind of short chat, which really is more like them looking into each other's eyes while looking sad, which I think is actually a lot more meaningful than a lot of the stuff that we got with Stepan and Karine, because one, these are two characters that I actually care about, and two, it still shows all of the emotional impact that this has without having to waste time in the show. So yeah, we get to see the White Cloaks camp, and Egwene is scrubbed down and cleaned. I don't exactly know why, what the point of that was, but she gets scrubbed down and cleaned. She gets a white dress put on her, and then she is tied down to a chair while Valda eats, which I think is such a power move. Like, I definitely like that they always have him eating while he's talking to an Aes Sedai, because it means, hey, I'm distracted and I'm still better than you. I can still take care of you if I need to, which I think is pretty powerful, pretty good power move. But I still hate Valda. He's such an annoying character. And basically we get some psychological and some physical torture. for Egwene and Perrin, and we get to see that Perrin's eyes turned gold, which is pretty darn cool. I actually think it's pretty interesting. However, I really wish they would have made more, Wolf Brother stuff happen with Perrin. So, whatever, I guess. Then Stepan visits Nynaeve. He asks her for sleeping tea. Nynaeve then walks around after meeting with him and meets Liandrin again. They have another discussion about more Aes Sedai politics, and Liandrin basically allows Nynaeve to go places that Moiraine didn't want her to go in order to endear herself to her. And this actually helps because eventually Loial manages to find Nynaeve, which he actually, I think, accidentally confuses with Egwene, but brings Nynaeve to Rand, and then Nynaeve tries to treat Mat, but Mat is kind of going crazy. And then Nynaeve and Rand have this talk where they're kind of talking about how they're Two Rivers folk, they're strong, and they have this moment where they reminisce about something that Egwene went through when she was a child, and basically leads up to, Nynaeve explaining that Egwene is a powerful woman and that she's not going to be broken down. She's going to make it to the White Tower, which, eventually they do. After Egwene and Perrin discuss what they're going to do, Perrin actually tells her the truth about how Lila died, and Egwene is pretty, upset about this, but not like at Perrin, but rather upset that Perrin had to deal with that and didn't tell anyone. And then she eventually channels in order to save Perrin's life. She actually channels a little fireball at Valda that doesn't work. However, that's actually a distraction for a fireball that was supposed to cut the rope off Perrin, which then leads to Perrin kind of bulking up and basically almost assaulting Valda, which I thought was pretty good. And then the wolves show up, and of course we get to see that Perrin understands the wolves, so I thought that was pretty cool. And then we get one kind of scene here where Liandrin and Moiraine talk, and then Nynaeve and some more tower politics happen. Stepan and Lan also have a conversation where, he actually drugs Lan, and then we get to see Moiraine and Alana talking about more politics and talking about the Amirlan seat, which is, stuff that happens in the next episode. And then Lan and Stepan, again, chatting, where he finally drugs, the Lan. And then eventually we get to see that this was all set up so that Stepan could go and kill himself in front of one of the towers of previous Gaidin or previous warders. And then we get the final emotional funeral scene for Stepan, which I thought was pretty powerful. However, again, I don't necessarily see that this is a necessary part of the series. I don't know if this was from the New Spring novel, but what was the point of all of this Karine stuff? Like, it's supposed to show that the warders care about their Aes Sedai and that their deaths affect them. You just spent 2 episodes telling us about tower politics instead of showing us tower politics. Why can't you do the same thing with the warder Aes Sedai connection, which in fact they actually already did? I think that this is kind of where the show starts to feel a little bit not like good. And I don't think it's bad, because when I first watched it, I thought it was actually pretty interesting. I liked it. I was willing to give it some breathing room and allow it to be different from the source material. However, now that I've seen the last episode, I don't know. I think that they wasted a lot of time with this, Stepan, Karine, warder Aes Sedai bonding thing that could have been relegated to just talking about it, and the time that they spent on this could have been used to do other stuff, like set up Valdara better. So, I don't know. I think it kind of sucked. But also, I don't think that I want this to go away now that I've seen it. I still think it's powerful and meaningful. I just think that it took too much time out of the show, because it's basically half an episode's worth of time was spent on this Stepan and Karine thing that didn't need to be spent on it. So, I don't know. On one hand, I don't like it. On the other hand, I don't want it to be gone now because I've already watched it and I actually kind of enjoyed it. So, I don't know. it's gonna kind of be this way for the rest of the series. The last 3 episodes kind of are good and bad in a lot of ways. So we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's all I have to say to you guys about this. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And yeah, thank you guys very much. See you guys later.